Welcome to the Leaderonomics show, and today we have with us Kevin Gaskell, former MD of Porsche and BMW, and now chairman of 4 companies. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Kevin, tell us a little bit of your background. How did you end up becoming, you were MD of Porsche at the age of 32, right?
That's right, yes.
How did that happen?
Well, it happened because Porsche found itself in a very difficult situation. And I was number 2 in the company, and the board felt they needed a change. And I remember thinking, well, this is all very unfair. It's highly likely that I'll get fired, so I shall say what I think. And I spoke to the board and said, you know what, I think you could sort this out. I would focus on this, this, and this.
Right.
They interviewed me for half a day, and they said,
you get the job.
Get the job, get going.
Okay.
And we turned it around.
Okay, and how did you turn around Porsche? I mean, you've turned around Porsche and BMW, right?
Well, no, I didn't turn around BMW. What we did at Porsche was in a very difficult situation. Market had turned against us, the product line had aged, and the cost base had got far too high. And we'd sort of lost the vision of where we were going. And so the beauty of Porsche was to recreate the vision of success.
Yep.
You know, what does it look like?
Yep.
What is this brand all about?
Right.
What are the brand values
Right.
that people aspire to?
Right.
So we created a model which was the vision of success. This is what it looked like when
Right.
we rebuild the business.
Right.
And underneath that, we sort of had 3 blocks, which were the brand,
Okay.
the product, and then the operations and
Right.
the people.
Right.
And what we did was, because we had no money, you know, we looked at ourselves a lot.
Yep.
And invited everybody in the team to contribute with ideas and help us to really transform the business. And over 5 years, we went from almost bust to being, from being last on the dealer satisfaction survey to being number one.
Yep.
We became the most profitable car company in Britain.
Right.
But
you also car of the year for one of your
yeah, we
models,
won car of the year, yeah. And that was all about letting the people in the team contribute. So we created the framework of where we wanted to go, and then invited people in the team to contribute. BMW was a very different challenge because it was seen as a very successful business. Indeed, it was a very successful business. And the challenge was, how do you take that on to the next level? Because I have a belief that businesses grow in curves.
Yep.
So what makes us successful now begins to fail
Right.
as new competitors
Right.
come, as
True.
the market changes,
Right.
as technology changes.
Yep.
And our job as a leader is to migrate that business and that team onto the next curve, which is usually a challenge because the transition is always uncomfortable.
Yep, yep, and lots of change. Yep.
Yeah, and but within BMW, what we did was we created a reason why to change. You know, here's where we were. Markets changed, competitors have changed, and so we refocused the branding, we refocused the communication. Again, we created a framework which allowed everyone in the business to contribute. We gave people who we thought were creative, who had fresh ideas, we gave them a lot of authority and responsibility. And again, with the same team of people that I inherited when I joined the business, 4 years later, we had a supremely operating business. So it was just great fun.
Sounds relatively simple, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of long days and short
Pains
nights and you know, there's a lot of emotion goes into it. But the trick was to create the atmosphere, create the magical atmosphere where we believed we were going to be successful.
Right.
Where there was a lot of passion in the business.
Right.
People are very passionate about the product. And so we were able to focus and translate that into real progress.
Okay. And a lot of time with change, right, it's all about the people, right? What were some of the obstacles you faced with your people in trying to show them this vision of the future and getting them there? Yeah,
you got different situations. In Porsche, you had a lot of fear because people could see the business was failing.
Yep.
Of course, they're afraid for their role and their job and
Yep.
just what that means for them.
And that's normal, yeah?
And that's normal.
Yep.
And what we had to do was paint a picture of what the business could be like, and then help people to migrate and help us to migrate the business to that point. Within BMW, it was slightly different because business was very comfortable, and we were challenging as a new team. Really, we were challenging whether that success could continue or whether we had to make some fundamental changes.
Right.
And of course, some people are skeptical. Some people are cynical.
Yep.
You know, you just want to change it for change's sake. Well, actually, no, I don't. You know, I'd be happy to come in here every day and, you know, just enjoy the ride as well. Well, I wouldn't, but a lot of people would.
Yep.
But I want you to help me to achieve something truly spectacular. And when you create that environment, create that challenge, people will help you to do that.
What were some of the, you know, interesting, you know, adventures that you had while at Porsche and BMW that come to mind? Well,
I mean, Porsche was a baptism of fire. I remember in the early days trying to negotiate with banks to get credit
financing,
lines, you know, and no chance, just no chance. So that was very difficult. And you learn a lot very quickly about funding a business. We had no money to invest in new products, and so we got very creative about.
What were some of the things you did creatively?
Creatively, well, we made a virtue out of the challenge of not having new products.
Okay.
So instead of saying we don't have new products or we don't have the latest fashion, what we were able to argue was what Porsche has is longevity of design. We have heritage.
Yep.
So don't look at this car and think, well, it's been around for 20 years, it's an old car. Because actually, the car has evolved a lot during that 20 years. Yes, it looks very similar. 911 still looks like a 911.
Yep.
But we were able to argue that evolution and heritage were core qualities of the brand. And we did that in a way that made people enjoy moving with us.
Yep.
Where we had different challenges was the market at the time was going through a very difficult phase. We didn't have an entry point car. And so we decided we had to have one of those.
Yep.
And so we took our least expensive car and said, we got to take 20% of the cost out of it.
Okay.
How do you do that? So, we said, let's start at the end and work backwards. So we took everything out of the car.
Okay.
And then we put some things back in.
So white piece of paper and rebuild the car.
Exactly. We put some things back in.
Yep.
So we took all the seats out and then put back in just 2 very low cost but very nice racing seats.
Yep.
We took all the fancy alloy wheels off and put back 4 steel wheels that we painted a nice colour. We dropped the suspension, we took out the air conditioning, we took out the radio. We created what we call a club sport car.
Okay.
And it was very effective.
That went on to becoming the car of the year, right?
It became car of the year, yeah, quite astonishing for a car that was really 25 years old. But it was just about trying to think outside the box. What we said was we can't outspend the competition.
Yep.
What we can do is outthink the competition.
Yep.
And so we challenged ourselves to be creative. Let people dream.
Right.
Don't give boundaries to people.
Right.
Let them dream. Let them come up with their own ideas, and then let's see if we can translate those dreams into reality, rather than moving by increments. We stopped moving by increments because it was too slow for us.
Yep. Crisis is always great to bring out the change in different things, like you had in Porsche.
Yes.
But in BMW, it wasn't really a crisis, right?
No. The challenge of BMW was to encourage people
to move out.
That they had to move.
Yeah. But how do you do that? I mean, because you're very comfortable, right? Everything's going well.
Yeah.
Why change something that's not broken, right?
Well,
how do you do that?
You see, I was in a lucky position. I'd been outside the company I was coming in, and I'd seen the business from a different perspective. And when I was able to show the management team that, look, the dealers are losing sight of the goal. We're not investing in our retail business the way we should. We've sort of lost some of our raison d'etre in the brand. The quality, the engineering, the technology. People are starting to say different things about our brand. So we have to get back in control of this. We have to control our own destiny again. When I was able to start to show people that some of these things really needed to change, and I could show them with real dimensions. Look, we were here, we're now here. This is negative, guys. We were here, now we're here. Then I could capture the hearts and minds of some of the people.
Today you are chairman of 4 companies. I mean, that's somewhat of a different, more governance type coaching role, advisory role. How's that differ from being CEO of a company?
Sometimes it's really hard not to get stuck into the operations. It's really hard to stay out and work through the CEO, work through the board. I don't tend to do it in a governance type way. We have to have governance, and the governance has to be appropriate. But that's not what interests me. Typically I have a company secretary who does that stuff. What I focus on is what's the strategy? How do we build the team? How do we make sure the team is supporting the strategy? What's the communication like? How can I coach the CEO? How can I help the CEO to become more successful? And it's a different kind of challenge. It's one I thought I was going to enjoy. When I first started doing it, I didn't really enjoy it because it was so hands-off. But now I've been doing it for 3 years. Now I'm starting to enjoy it because I'm learning which levers I can pull and how to pull them again. So I'm really enjoying it. And it's nice. Working in 4 companies is great fun because you know what?
You never get bored, right?
You never get bored. And the funny thing is, even though the companies are dramatically different, the issues tend to be quite similar. And you can point, hey, have a think about this. Have you looked at that? What about the other? look out for this, it's coming down the line.
And even exchange best practices. And
exchange best practice,
Fantastic. What drives you? I mean, you seem to be very driven, in every role, whether it's Porsche, BMW, now as chairman of a number of companies. Was there a point in time early in your life that triggered you to be driven and highly motivated?
I grew up in a working class family, and I think I didn't want to spend my life in that environment. I wanted to get out and see more of the world, whether that's geographically or just see different things. And I was a sportsman. I played cricket, but it always seemed unfair to me that the kids who got picked for the representative teams came from the posh schools and I came from the poor school. So I just worked harder until I got picked. And then I realized in life that actually, some people are born in lucky situations, some of us are born in less fortunate situations.
Right, but it's what you make out of it.
It's what you make out of it. So now I do what I'm passionate about. I enjoy building businesses, I enjoy working with teams. When it's not fun, I don't do it. And I don't say that glibly, but if it's not fun, then I'm not contributing at my best. So then I have to challenge myself about why am I here.
Some of the greatest leaders experience failure throughout their life, and they've always learned from it. And you obviously must have experienced some sort of failure. Like, what's some of your failures, and what have you learned from them?
Well, I mean, the failure. I was at Porsche for 4 years before the going got tough, and I was promoted. So, if you like, I lived in the failure of Porsche going down, and I learned such a lot from that. It was so painful to watch people being made redundant. So I was part of that management team as the business went down. Frustrated. I think one of my lessons was, if you're acutely frustrated with a situation, speak up. And I was a young guy. You don't speak up too much. So I've learned now to speak up. Do it constructively. You can be energetic about it. You can be passionate about it. You don't have to be rude about it. So speak up. So one of my failings was being part of a team that was going down. And we were lucky we were given the opportunity to turn it around and bring it back up.
And then more recently, as chairman, were there any failures that you went through?
Well, one of the businesses that I ran as CEO, 12 months after I left it, got itself into quite a difficult situation, started to go backwards. And I look at that and I feel, whilst I wasn't involved in the business, I feel responsible for it, because I built the management team. A new senior executive was brought in from elsewhere, which I was part of his appointment, and it didn't work. So I look back on that business now, and I'm still sort of involved because I know the people there. I'm not officially involved, but give advice and support. And it's always very painful to watch a business that you care about. I care about all the businesses I'm involved in, to watch them struggling. And again, lesson in life, if you're not sure that the executive who's being brought in is the right person, then say so. Really say so early. But I mean, it's not all an uphill ride. We go up and down, up and down, up and down. And the trick is to make sure there are more ups than downs. But every challenge is an opportunity.
What if I ask you, if I'm a CEO of a company, what advice would you give me with regards to turning around, branding, changing?
Make sure you have a clear plan. Make sure that you have involved your team in the identification of what that vision of success for the business looks and feels like.
Chart that vision clearly.
Where are we going?
Because many companies don't have that.
They don't have it.
And they're directionless.
A lot of people don't have it for themselves either. And so I would say to a CEO, make sure you know what you want to do, why you want to do it, personally. What is it that's driving you? And then contribute that to where's the company going? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? What does it smell like when we get there? Describe it to me. And never say, to be better than X. That's limiting. That's limiting. Don't drive your business based on what they're doing. Where do you want to go? What's special about your business, your brand? So have that clarity of vision. Second is, make sure you have a framework underneath it where everyone in the team knows what their contribution is. So you have a plan, and it's a one-page plan.
Final question. If you were to give advice to our viewers out there, with regards to life and what they do at their workplace, what advice would you give them?
Be passionate about what you do. Do what you believe in and believe in what you do. And if you don't believe in it,
Don't do it.
don't do it.
Right, fantastic. We've been talking to Kevin Gaskell, former MD of Porsche and BMW here on the Leaderonomics show. Kevin, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.